Take 25. We're still trying, y'all. I don't own the rights to this music. That is George Benson, by the way. Alrighty, so again, I do not own the rights to this music, and I think we got it now. So ladies and gentlemen, Perry Thompson here. All right, there we go.
Here we go. Here we go. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing fabulous. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
no
it.
problem. Thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties. So
Hey,
you know how it goes.
you never know. When you go live, you never know.
That's right. That's why you just go. So that's all right. No
Go with
problem.
the flow.
Okay, so let's jump into this. First of all, happy Black Music Month to you.
You as well. Happy Black Music Month to you as well. Yes, indeed.
Yes. So you reached out, and I had to learn, about you because I had never heard of this type of society.
Right.
Talk to me. What is the R&B Preservation Society?
Well, the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society is a nonprofit organization that preserves the culture of Black music. And the reason why I started this organization because I wanted to create an organization that preserves the culture of all genres of Black music. There are organizations out there that, that do honor Black music, but one may be jazz, one may be hip hop, one may be R&B. What the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society is, we preserve all cultures of Black music culture: R&B, jazz, hip hop, reggae, Latin music. So, and we honor those who contribute to Black music culture. It's not about how many awards you won, how many records you sold. If you contribute to Black music culture, we're going to honor you.
Okay. And what is this mission? Like, where did this desire, this drive come from?
Well, I've been a lover of Black music since I was little. You know what I mean? It's always been a part of my DNA. And I went to LaGuardia High School Music and Arts, so music has always been in my blood. And Black music, I've always loved Black music. And I became more a study of history of Black music as I got older, learning about the artists, how the records charted, who wrote the song. So I became more involved in the history of Black music. So when I decided to start my nonprofit organization, I knew that I wanted to have one that educated on the history of Black music culture. That was the main goal for me, to honor those of Black music, but also to educate on Black music as well.
Okay. All right. And then it looks like you decided, you're originally from Queens, but you basically housed that society in New Jersey. Is that right?
Yes, we're based in Atlantic City, yes.
Okay. What made you change your venue, so to speak? Because isn't there a lot of like Black music history in the city of New York by itself?
Well, I moved to Atlantic City some years ago.
Okay.
So when I decided to start the Rhythm Blues Preservation Society, I was already living in Atlantic City. Okay. So I started, in 2014, I saved my dollars and pennies, and it's not cheap to start a nonprofit organization. Right. So in 2019, that's when I got the official paperwork that it became a 501c3.
Okay. And you've met several lineages during the time you've already been established. Like you've met the daughter of James Brown, the daughter of Smokey Robinson, and some really historical musical figures. Have you met any living legends? Like earlier we were listening to Phil Perry and George Benson.
Well, I've interviewed, as you said, I've interviewed some legendary, Deanna Brown, James Brown. I've interviewed is actually Claudette Robinson, who was in the Miracles with Smokey Robinson, who was this the ex-wife of Smokey Robinson, Miss Claudette Robinson. I interviewed her. I've interviewed Melissa Morgan. I've interviewed, Reggie Calloway from Midnight Star. I would definitely love to interview, you know, everybody. George Benson was someone I would love to interview, and Phil Perry, because I'm a fan of both of them. I'm all about letting them tell their stories, because a lot of artists don't really get their stories told. So that's one thing that I enjoy, interviewing artists and let them tell their stories. Because they want to be heard as well.
Of course, of course. And I mean, every artist has a very unique story and contribution to the culture. Since we're talking about preserving, what are your thoughts? Because it's rhythm and blues. I said R&B. Is there a distinction?
No, I mean R&B is just rhythm and blues and R&B are the same. But as I said, the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society, we are Black music preservationists. We preserve the culture of all genres of Black music. So even though it's called the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society, we focus on all cultures of Black music. And there's really, there's no R&B, rhythm and blues, same thing, because everything came from the blues. That was that was the big, rock and roll came from came from the blues. So you got the rhythm as well. You got the rhythm and you got the blues. So no, it's not really no distinction. It's all the same.
Okay. And then what about like new artists? Like have you had a chance to sit down and interview or talk with or add new genres of music, like newer artists?
I would love to reach out to, on my social media, I post on Black music, whoever has anything going on in Black music. So it's not about, from the old to the new. So I don't have a problem interviewing anyone in the new era that wants to be interviewed by me. We honor those in Black music. If you contribute to Black music culture, whether it be R&B, hip hop, jazz, reggae, if you're a new artist, you want to get some exposure, anyone can reach out to me. I'll do an interview with them. I'll post their album, whatever they got going on. It's no problem. It's not like that with us. We touch on all from the 50s to now. And you contribute Black music, we're gonna honor you. We will be honored. You're part of our organization, part of our platform. Yes.
Okay. And I see that you teach as well. Is that right?
Yes. I have done lectures at various universities on Black music culture. This past February, I did a lecture on the birthday of Dr. Nina Simone on her 90th birthday. And also we did a live performance honoring Dr. Nina Simone. That was one of the main reasons why I started the organization, is to educate. This is Black Music Month. And right now with the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society is doing now, we're doing nationwide Black Music Month national curation, library curation campaign.
Okay.
We reached out to numerous colleges and universities, and we asked them to curate books on Black music for the month of June, which is Black Music Month. And we reached out to a lot of universities, and a lot of, they were very open to it because they didn't know about Black Music Month. And nor did they know about, they didn't realize they had a collection of books on Black music. So we reached out to quite a bit of universities, and so far 15 have said yes to us. So the 15 that reached out to us, all of them have a display of Black music books on Black music at the universities for the whole month of June for Black Music Month. Okay.
That's awesome. Do you have any activities planned for your area for this month?
Well, like I said, we have at 3 universities in New Jersey are curating our books. Cumberland University,
Okay.
Cumberland College,
Okay.
Seton Hall University, and Rutgers. Three major universities in New Jersey are curating books on Black music in their universities. So I'm going to reach out to them and possibly do a lecture at each three of those universities. And the universities that are out of state, possibly you're going to be working on doing a virtual lecture as well. We're
Okay.
so very honored to actually do this National Library Curation campaign with the universities. I mean, it's a great honor. They really love our idea. The ones that said no, it wasn't because they didn't want to do it. It's because it was June and the students aren't there, so it wouldn't be a lot of traffic. But the ones that did say no at this time, they still want to work with us in the future. So that's a great thing as well. So we reached
Yeah.
out to different HBCUs, all colleges, universities around the country, and we're fortunate that 15 colleges, universities agreed to do the curation for Black Music Month. So we appreciate all the colleges and universities that are working with us.
That's awesome. Um, you know what? I guess what do you see as far as the long-term goal of this society? Like, is this something that is just, like, okay, we're honoring those that are contributing to Black music, or is it something that you're really trying to get maybe into schools as a curriculum on a
Yes,
regular basis? Is that
there
is
you
that the
go.
goal?
That's the goal.
Okay.
We're actually working on that now to present to the state of New Jersey to see if they would accept it. We're working on a curriculum now on Black music history. Me and my vice president, Queen Diva, who is a great, I appreciate her so much. And she does. She's really on. We really a great team together. She does, great service for our. She does our media. She does our administration work. So we're always on the phone seeing what's the next move we make. So that's the goal, to create a curriculum of African American music history. Because we want to
So
reach the colleges, the high schools, and the public schools with this curriculum to teach about Black music culture.
do you think you're going to run into, and I'm just going to ask it just out plain,
Okay.
do you think you're going to run into critical race theory issues by trying to do that?
Wow, that's a very good question. Music transcends all races.
I agree.
Black music, everyone loves Black music. Critical race theory shouldn't be involved in any kind of teaching. That shouldn't even exist in any kind of curriculum. But with Black music, like I said, it transcends all races. You know what I mean? The Ivy League school, the universities that we reached out to, they were very open with the curation because they didn't know about Black Music Month, and they were like, wow, we had no idea we had all these books on Black music. So as I said, it transcends all races. I don't really see that being a problem, because I really don't see that being a problem.
Okay.
We could create a curriculum for the schools.
I had to throw it out there and ask that one
Right.
question that was going to go, maybe, but maybe not, because there is. I agree with you. It does music transcends all colors, cultures.
Right.
It's something that ties everyone together.
Yes.
But as soon as you start putting a color on it, that's when things go. They get weird, and you don't want it to get that way because we're just preserving history. So I really appreciate what you're doing in terms of this society, and giving honor to everyone that's trying to contribute to the music, standpoint of Black people.
Right, because Black music is a global phenomenon. I mean, the power. Everyone knows the power of Black music. I mean, you saw it, you see it in sports all the time. I mean, this year you had Rihanna performing at the halftime Super Bowl. Last year you had that great hip hop show with Dr. Dre and the West Coast hip hop stars. So the power, advertisers and corporations know the power of Black music, and they use it to promote their products. They know the power of Black music, so that's a great thing. They know that Black music draws people together.
This is true. I remember that there were some really strong campaigns back in the 90s, early 2000s with Sprite, not Coke a little bit, where they were integrating more of the soulful, R&B type of music in their ads, and then it kind of went into these hip hop battles, and then all of a sudden I noticed that those kind of became less and less and less. Why do you think that is?
That's a good question, because you're right. Sprite did do. I remember they had a Karis One MC Shan battle with Sprite. They had a Neo Soul commercial. You're right. They did have a big camp, because Sprite was big.
Every summer.
They had Heavy D doing the commercial, Curtis Blow. Yeah, you're right. I don't, they know advertisers, they use Black music all the time. So I don't know why it has gone down as far as using our music in their commercials. I mean, they want us to use their products, so why not? The only way to attract is to get the artists to use for their campaign. Sure. So I really don't know why it has gone down some. I really don't know what's the answer to that. I mean, they know that the Black music culture is very, very powerful. I mean, you put an artist like, you put Mary J on a commercial, like she did Burger King.
Yeah.
That's blow up. She did Burger King, yeah.
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 She did.
Yeah.
And, anything that has had some kind of, and I guess when people hear Black Music Month, people don't really look at all of the genres of music where there has been an influence. Even in Latin music, you've got Latin jazz and jazz fusion. That is very heavily, influenced by African rhythms and Caribbean rhythms. So it encompasses everything from hip hop to gospel to everything. It doesn't just center on R&B.
No.
But the sounds of that music seems to have changed. Do you think it'll come back to that?
Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't judge the new. With some of the new music, some of the messages, it's a little risque. I don't judge it. Everyone has to put out a message how they see fit. But there are some artists out there that recognize true R&B. I think it's going to come back to the old, because you just saw the verses with Earth, Wind and Fire and the Ozzy Brothers, and that was a huge success.
Yeah,
that was a huge success. I mean, their album skyrocketed the next day. Young people were like, "Wow, they bought their music just from that one verse." And so I would love to see more on the level of legendary artists. Verses like that, like the OJ versus the Whispers, or that'd be a great verse right there. So I mean,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, I think we need to culminate, the legendary artists with new artists. I recently met Ted Mills from Blue Magic, and he's working on a song with Fat Joe. He told me that.
Okay.
So yeah. So I think once culminate, let's merge the legendary with the new. I mean, they can learn from each other. The old can learn from the young learn from the old. I mean, the oldest can teach the young people, well, your music is good, but I think it can go another direction. Not trying to change, just give them a positive influence of how they used to do it back in the days.
True.
Because as I said, I don't judge anyone's message. Whatever message you want to put out, that's fine. But I like to see more of the younger artists. There's some young artists. The young lady that just won the 2 Grammys for the best new artist. What is her name? Oh wow, what is her name?
Jasmine Sullivan?
No. She just won the Grammy for best new artist. She's a jazz artist.
Samara Joy.
There you go. She's
Yeah.
bad. Sonara Joy, she's bad. Sonara Joy is bad. I think she's a great artist, and she really keeps it on a traditional level for as jazz. And she's someone that I would love to, interview. She's a talent, and there are other talented young artists like her on that level that I would love to get, focus on. She's been out there for a while, and she finally now is getting her props, and that's a great thing.
It takes a while.
It
It
takes a
does
while.
take a while. Now, Samara Joy is a rare find. Now, this is
Yes,
a young lady. I think she's just in her 20s.
yes, in the
Um,
20s.
but
Yeah,
she has a sound that is rich, like Dana Washington, Ella
yes,
Fitzgerald.
yes,
She's got a very soulful, jazzy,
exactly.
beautiful
You can tell
voice.
you can tell that she's listened to the greats. You can tell. You can
Yeah,
tell.
she's done quite a bit of work, but she's a very rare find. But her genre of music doesn't really. I mean, the way it's marketed, I think, is what makes a difference. Because like when you say Samara Joy, I immediately think of, okay, we're gonna go get some beignets and hang out outside. Like we're gonna go and listen to some authentic jazz, or we're gonna go
Right,
to New Orleans and sit out, like that's what you're expecting. Versus
right.
even when you hear October London, I don't know if you've heard of this gentleman, but this is someone that is signed to Snoop's label who puts out a
Oh yeah,
very
yeah, yeah. I
Marvin
heard him.
Gaye type of
Yes,
sound. Very
yes, I heard
different.
him. Yes, and that's a great thing that Snoop would recognize that that this cat is someone I want to deal with. I mean, that's a great thing when you hear someone that has a great sound like that you want to acknowledge it, you want to nourish the style. And as I said, the young people, all we got, I think what we need to do is have a Black music summit. Have the old legendary, not old, but have the legendary artists and the new artists come together, have a conference, sit down, discuss the state of Black music today, and have the legendary artists tell their story and work, with the new artists. Have a Black music summit. Let's come. I am down for that. To do a Black music summit, bring the legends to the newer artists, come together, have a discussion. Whatever criticism you may have of them, and vice versa, bring it on the table, and let's find a solution of how we can really come together and take Black music further than it is now. I mean, it's gone far, but we can take it further if the legends come together with the new and work on the music together. Recognize that the legends still are out there touring, they're still
Mhm.
performing. You know what I mean? They're still doing their thing. It's not like they're obsolete. The legends are still doing their thing. And R&B and jazz and hip hop, they're still doing their thing. They're not sitting around. They're touring. They're doing their thing. So
They
we
are
have,
touring.
yeah. So that would be great. We have like a Black music summit and bring the legends together. Everyone come together and sit down, have a discussion as far as what the state of Black music today, and let's work on a solution and come together. And it's not about egos, nothing like that. Put your egos aside. Hear what the young people got to say, and you hear what the legends got to say, and then we come together. Let's work on it. I would love to be a part of that. I really would.
So more preservation. And I
Yes.
think I think that's what your society is aiming for. It's not so much, from what I gather, it's not all about just giving the awards, but it's preserving the art form that it
Correct.
originated from. And preservation is the key to basically generational understanding,
Yes.
and to maybe help bridge some of these gaps. For a while, music, especially Black music, had a big gap
It
where
did.
it was like it was good and then it just fell off. Like, whoa, what
It did.
happened? And then it slowly started picking back up and then it went down again. And I think to kind of help even out that roller coaster, we do need summits again. We do need I like the love and family and the love and hip hop tours that are going on right now.
Yes.
But there's still a disconnect because some of the artists that are on there are just from that that one genre in time. Like, okay, they're all '90s artists or they're all 2000s artists,
Right.
but you don't see the 2000s and the ones from the '90s and the '80s joining. You know what I mean? Like that. Like you need that blend together to make sure you preserve the culture.
Yes.
Because what will happen, it'll water down and disappear.
And we can't, and that cannot happen. That cannot happen. And I totally agree with you. We have to have, like you said, have a tour like that. Bring the 70s, 80s. Not even. Let's go back to the 50s. There's still some legendary doo-wop artists that are still touring.
Yep.
So let's do a 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s tour of all black music. I think that would be like that. Like they used to have tours like that back in the day. We have like 20 artists on the tour. We should do that. Should happen now, not just one genre. From the 50s to now, legendary artists on the tour, and they can all tour together, and they can all talk about what they went through in the 50s and 60s, tell their stories to the young people and have their understanding of what they've done. And, I think that would be a great thing. I mean, I really would like to work on do something like that. I mean, reach out to the artists and get sponsorship for this type of tour, to do a sponsorship for a Black Music Summit. I mean, because like you said, it was a roller coaster. It was going up, down, up, down.
Up, down.
You just have to keep it like this, steady.
Yeah.
It's steady. So we don't have to go through all that and the up and down anymore, because black music is, how I said, this is the 50th year of hip hop this year.
Yeah.
And hip hop is a global phenomenon, global. And you see all around it, they're doing so many things to honor the 50 years of hip hop, which is a great thing. I mean, something that, who would have thought 50 years later hip hop would be a global phenomenon, global. So the power of black music they know the power of black music. I just would like you said, keep it steady. Let's work with the legends, the elders, and the young come together, have a summit. Let's speak about the state of black music. Let's work on new music together, tours, because we have to preserve it. We have to continue to preserve our culture. This is our music, this is our culture. And we, like what you're doing with your radio show, we have to continue to preserve the culture of black music. We have to continue to do it. If we don't do it, no one else is going to do it.
It's just like the storytellers, like there are the art of storytelling and keeping those stories alive. It can get digitized to where it's not around anymore. And so it's important to invest at that time into preservation. So I appreciate what you're doing, in terms of recognizing that, hey, there's a need here to preserve. We're not trying to, take away from anyone, but we're just preserving. And there's nothing wrong with preserving to keep the culture going and growing forward. I do have to ask the question, though. You did say you went to LaGuardia High School.
Yes.
Do you play music? Are you a musician yourself?
I sing and I play instruments, yes.
Okay. Do you perform there locally, or do you have music yourself?
Right now, I don't have any music myself. Right now, I'm focusing on preserving with my nonprofit organization. I am a member of the National Association for Music Educators.
Okay.
So they, even though I'm not a certified teacher, but I am an educator of black music. So they recognize me as the National Association for Music Educators. Recognize me as being an educator of black music culture.
Okay. I just had to ask because whenever you're involved in music, it transcends somewhere. So it's good that you do sing and you play. Is it just piano, or are there other instruments?
I've played various instruments when I was growing up. I played the keyboard. I played the percussion. I played I was in a band in high school, so I played the saxophone, I played the clarinet. So yeah, everything was by the ear. So I was playing by the ear, you know.
Okay.
So and going to LaGuardia, that was a great experience as well. I mean, so many great artists came out of LaGuardia, far as singers and perform. Change Your Faces, Stroke You Up. Remember who Change Your Faces?
Yes.
They
Yes.
went to, I know they're in my yearbook.
Oh, wow.
Teresa
And they were
DeFranco.
great.
Yeah, yeah, they're in my yearbook. Yeah, so you know, so LaGuardia, you know, going to LaGuardia was a great experience, being around all that great talent, and you know, like I said, music's been in my DNA, and I'm so humbled and grateful to have started the Rhythm Blues Preservation Society. We've been, to be honored with our National Library curation is a great honor. I've been recognized by New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. I received a letter from him.
Okay.
We received a proclamation on February 21st. That's Rhythm Blues Preservation Society Day, which is February 21st. We received a
Okay.
proclamation for that day. And, it's a great thing to be acknowledged by politicians in your area to recognize what you do. And I'm just very humble and grateful. Myself and my vice president, Queen Diva, we're always striving to do better for our organization. And this is whatever we do. Preserving the culture of Black music. I love Black music. I enjoy what I'm doing, interviewing artists, writing about Black music, the curation with the universities. I'm honored for that. It's been a real positive response with the curation. I've gotten so much positive responses from people, emails. Yeah, it's been a great response with the curation. I'm truly grateful for the university and colleges to work with us with that in the future as
Nice.
well. Yeah, so I'm just very flattered and humbled how far we've gone with our organization, and we're just going to continue what we do, preserve the culture of Black music. And it, I'm living proof that don't let anyone stifle your dream. You
Okay.
know, I got a lot of negative flack when I wanted to start my nonprofit organization. Sure, you're gonna get negative flack, but you can't allow that to deter you. You know,
Right.
some people thought it was kind of ridiculous for me to even do an organization to preserve Black music culture. Why would you want to do that? Because it's important to me to do it. It's important
Right.
for the world to preserve the culture of Black music.
And I mean, it's a society. So this is something that can start in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I'm here in Houston. So a chapter could be bred here.
My
You know what
vice
I'm saying? A
president,
chapter can be,
my vice
you know,
president lives in Houston. My vice president lives in Houston.
see, so like that's something that spreads. So like you can, from Houston to Atlanta to Florida, like this is something that can spread.
Yes,
So societies are cool.
that's right. So we're thinking on that level, not chapters here, but globally as well. I reached out to universities in the UK
Hmm.
as well, and they're really open to working with me. Now, the funny thing about the UK is, even though they don't really recognize Black Music Month because they say it's an American thing,
Hmm.
they do acknowledge, and they don't acknowledge Black History in February. They do Black History in October in the UK.
Oh,
That's what I learned. Yeah, so I'm gonna be working with some universities in the UK in October for UK Black History Month. So yeah,
no.
yeah.
Well, I will definitely be looking out for that. As we wrap up here, tell us, how can we support the society and how can we join and become a member?
Yes, we are a nonprofit organization, and anyone wants to make a donation, you can go to our Cash App, $RBPSOC 18. You can go to our PayPal, paypal.me/RBPS18. You can also send a check or money order to P.O. Box 7401, Atlantic City, New Jersey 08404, and all are tax deductible. And if you want to become a member of our society, you can always reach us at info@rhythmbluesps.org. or you can call our business number, 609-727-1744.
Perfect. And then give us your Instagram handle and how we can find you on social
Yes,
media. We can
our
DM you
social
too.
media. Yes, yes. Instagram is ACRBPSOC. And you can also go to my Instagram, Perry Thompson, RBPSOC. Twitter is RBPSOC. Facebook is at RBPSOC. And our YouTube channel is at RBPSOC.
Awesome. You know, I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of sit down and chat with me and for reaching out. I learned a lot by doing some research, so thank you for it. Now, you have to do the Action One Radio futuristic thing. I ask everyone that comes on here, where do you see yourself in 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 months, and in 6 years?
In 6 weeks, I see our organization doing, that would be like, we working on our 50th year of hip hop in 6 weeks. Our presentation for hip hop for the 50 years of hip hop in 6 weeks. And you said 6 months?
6 months.
Okay, in December, we're going to have our annual Founders Day celebration, because our Founders Day is December 18th. So in 6 months, we'll have our Founders Day celebration.
Okay.
And in 6 years,
Yep.
6 years, I see us having chapters not just in the United States, but globally, where
Nice.
we will have a global society, chapters here in America and globally, doing lectures, curriculum, having a Black music curriculum in America and overseas. Also, having teaching students on the culture of Black music so they can teach others. Oh yeah, that's what I see in 6 years.
Nice. Those are some big plans, and definitely we are here to support you all the way.
Thank you.
Again, I'm so glad that you took the time to sit down and talk with us. Shout out to everyone that joined. I see DJ Billy Bronco in there, one of my favorites. Salute to you. Thank you again. And I think I saw Rodney Perry jump in there real quick. I didn't get a chance to say him. The comedian, yes. Every now and then he jumps in there. Yes.
A legend, true legend, comic legend. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. And like, you know, he just peeks in and he jumps out. I'm like, if you don't stay around here. But one day, hopefully, we'll get him on here and get in the hot seat. You never know.
He's a funny, he's one of the greats, one of the funniest brothers out there. Yes, indeed.
Indeed. All right. Well, until the next time, you stay safe. And hey, everybody, you have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you again, and peace and blessings to you. You know, continue what you're doing, and you know, let's work together. Whatever you want to do, let's make it happen. I'm willing to work with you.
I'm with it.
On your capacity.
Yep. Let's make some plans. It sounds good.
All right.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
Peace and love.
Peace.